got my NASA shirt on.
We are going into space. NASA, we are going into space. NASA. Gonna get some moon rocks for the king. Gonna get some space dust for my dad.
What is that?
What's the rest? Gonna get these artifacts, or I'm gonna have a heart attack, or Wesley Snipes is gonna eat my legs.
Too much energy.
Hooray! You're Silverbolt.
These upgrades come with a warranty.
Blah 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 blah. Beast Wars once and for all. Cheetor, what have you done?
I am giving this episode no Energon.
What
Yeah.
are you, a Quintesson?
This is no Energon. Fuck it. I can't.
Sigma balls, Gary. No, not that. Ah!
Good evening, Deadites. Welcome to episode 93 of Too Much Energon, the podcast where we talk about Beast Wars shit and talk shit about Beast Wars, coming to you live from a mysterious floating mountain hidden somewhere on planet Energon. I'm the Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm NeoCal, your other host.
Hidden precariously atop a mountainous waterfall or something.
Yeah.
Hovering above on these like awkward tiny little stilts, standing on top of a big chasm.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on in atop of that chasm there, Cal?
Well, you see, you gotta... Wait a second. Uno momento.
Uh-oh.
Not right.
What's going on? Live on the air.
Live on the air, I have finished. Crisp decided to put the output device as my webcam.
Oh, your audio quality just sharply changed.
For the better.
No.
Crisp? Okay, sorry.
What
Not
is-
for the better.
What is Krispy Kreme?
Hello,
Up to.
how about now?
There,
Change
that's
that.
better. Yeah.
Sorry. Yep. Fucking
Yeah.
crisp.
I'm leaving that in.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Well, you know what? I'll be able to go back and see the difference between crisp and
Oh,
just-
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking crisp. It's like, hey, would you like to activate crisp? And I'm like, you know what, good sir, I will. And then it's like, don't worry, we got you covered. Your output device is going to be your webcam. And I'm like, it has speakers? Thanks. But
Wow.
also, your microphone sounds worse. I
For
No.
anyone who doesn't know what Crisp is
What
a
are these nerds talking about?
Crisp is a noise cancellation software that I've been using for a long time, and Cal started using a little while back. Yeah, just cancels background noise. But you have to, in Zoom or Discord or whatever chat device software, that's the word. Whatever program you're using, you have to set your audio device, and this is like computer shit. You have to set your audio device to Crisp, and then in Crisp, you have to set your input device to whatever microphone you want to use. And
Yeah,
Crisp,
so the digital microphone being the crisp program.
yeah. And so Crisp, at least in my experience, has a tendency to default back to my webcam's mic as the input device. I don't know why. It's like, why? Granted, like I have a fairly expensive, like a decent quality webcam, but the microphone on it is still kind of shitty. So it's like, why would I rather use that over my like $200 like HyperX Quadcast microphone?
No.
Like, why?
Yeah, and
What-
despite using turning on crisp when we're recording dozens of times, this time it just decided to just fuck everything up. It changed my output too to the monitor speakers instead of my headset. So there's
Yeah.
probably some feedback. It just went nuts, and had never done that before. I'm like, you know what? Good day. I say good day. I just closed the program entirely. Get out of here.
Crisp has been infected with Megatron's hate plague.
Oh yeah, yes, his hate plague.
His hate plague. Well,
What a journey this episode is, folks.
what a journey. This is episode 93 of Too Much Energon, and this week we are talking about War for Cybertron Earthrise, Chapter 5.
Mm-hmm.
And the episode opens up with the man, the myth, the legend, the Alpha Trionic champion of Cybertron himself, Alpha Trion.
Yeah, dude's got a Viking helmet and a sweet cape.
Yep. And we also get to meet a character named SkyLynx, who is, well, for lack of a better explanation, he is a space shuttle and dinosaur put together, basically.
It was really hard for me to take this dude seriously because Alpha Trion's walking like through this field like a freaking like Thor,
Yeah.
right? And then this dinosaur dog lands with jet wings, and he's like, "Alpha Trion, you have to give me the matrix of power." And I'm like, "The fuck is
Yeah.
this guy?"
Yeah, he's literally a space shuttle with a like a dinosaur, long dinosaur neck.
Looks
and
like one of the Dinobots.
yeah, he's a dinosaur meets a space shuttle, like NASA space shuttle.
Yeah,
This character is from G1.
I believe it.
Yeah.
It's just out of all of the G1 dudes, this guy, and there's a few parts later that pop up where he's just like floating in space, staring straight at the camera, that I laughed out loud at.
He's a bizarre choice. I feel like it's okay. So you know how in War for Cybertron Siege, they're like, okay, we need to have Omega Supreme show up because he's our Titan class figure, and we need to sell that toy.
Even if he's only here for 30 seconds.
Oh, even if he's only here for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
SkyLynx in the War for Cybertron Earthrise toy line was the Commander class figure, which is the one above Leader class, but below Titan class.
Yeah.
So this, once again, feels very much like a mandate of, hey, you need to put this character into the story somehow.
We made the toy, put him in there.
Yeah.
They're like, shit, I don't know. I guess we'll make him the keeper of unspace.
There's that our favorite term there, unspace. See, we joked about it when we were on when we were talking about one of the Beast Wars comic books, and
is that what that's from? I'm trying to think. I'm like, was that Stargate?
Yeah, no, that was one of the Beast Wars comic books there. We ripped
on unspace.
We ripped on unspace for being a just like completely like bafflingly stupid term. But apparently there's precedence for it because the term unspace pops up in this show as well. So I guess
more
unspace.
Like fun space. It's supposed to be this desolate, terrible place, but it kind of looks like you're in a world of pure imagination. It kind of looks great.
The dead universe, as it's known as.
The dead universe, where you can like shape reality and revisit your memories.
So essentially, this is Limbo in Inception.
Yeah.
Kind of is, really.
Yeah, it sounds nightmarish. You either go mad and turn to stone. When we see Unspace later, there's a whole bunch of Transformers that are just like statues.
Yeah.
Floating around. And then just SkyLynx in his like dinosaur mode, just like standing around in space.
See, I thought I could be wrong, but I thought the statue was Alpha Trion, and I thought that was just a construct that was created by SkyLynx.
Oh, there are a whole bunch of statues.
Yeah. I just thought
around, and I didn't get a good look at any of them.
I thought that they were just constructs of Alpha Trion created by SkyLynx.
I'll take another look when we get to that scene.
What
happens at the beginning opening scene here?
So SkyLynx is like going ape shit and being all aggro about how he deserves the Matrix, which to me was such a bizarre characterization because, as I said, SkyLynx was a character from G1.
Yeah, they make him
Notably,
super aggro here.
yeah, notably, he what I know him from anyway was the two-part episode of G1, The Return of Optimus Prime, which also
Right.
featured the Hate Plague, which makes an appearance in this episode of Earthrise. So
Sure
I
does.
dug how they were how they tied that together. But in G1, SkyLynx, he had a personality that kind of reminded me a bit of Mr. Peabody, like Peabody and Sherman,
Really?
and like he spoke in that sort of manner.
Wow.
So
Didn't
in this
expect
show,
that.
to see him being all like, "Ah, give me the Matrix! I am the most powerful!" Like that. To me, that was just a really bizarre characterization. I'm like, oh, okay, this guy really
Yeah.
Dino Shuttle himself.
I am worthy of the Matrix. And Alpha Trion's voice kind of made me chuckle. He's like, whoever the Matrix chooses as the next prime. Whomever this milksop.
Those who are deemed unworthy can be gone as the fop doodles that they are.
Fopdoodle. And speaking of which, be gone! And he
Be gone,
opens a
fop
portal.
doodle.
He uses his magical girl staff to summon a portal to banish SkyLynx into literal hell.
Yeah,
Because just left with yourself and literally nothing else sounds torturous. Depending on it, yeah. Like I'd rather be in a cell with like dripping water and like somebody like passing a tray of food in like a Man in the Iron Mask style than like floating in a black void, like left to only my thoughts.
right.
But I guess he escapes. He finds a form of escapism and can shape it however he wants, which is
Yeah.
better than just a black void.
Yeah, now he has shaped it into a black void with some weird colored like
Some rainbow
constellations
aurora borealis effects.
and statues of Alpha Trion floating around. Quite the imagination Dino Shuttle has here.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone kind of wakes up, shakes their heads on the arc.
Yep.
Now we're back at the present. And they're like, where are we? And they kind of look around and they're like, shit. Because even Teletran 1, it's like star scans inconclusive.
And Bumblebee is like, wait a minute. There was this game on Xbox 360 called Dead Space. I
Do you
feel like
think-
that. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
He's like, you're right. We only have to use the plasma cutter for the entire game so we can get that one gun achievement. Bumblebee's
Well-
like, no.
Well, actually the thing with Dead Space, and this wasn't even a thing that I did to like get the achievement or anything like that. Dead Space, if you upgrade, you can play that game easily with the plasma cutter.
I know the very
if you-
first time I beat it, I only used the plasma cutter.
Yeah, as long as you keep upgrading it. Like it's such an overpowered like basic weapon, and because like to kill the monsters in that game, necromorphs, if anyone hasn't played Dead Space, you have to kill them by dismembering them, and you have your basic weapon because you play as like an engineer, a space engineer, and so you have this tool called a plasma cutter that's supposed to be for like welding or something, welding
And
and
it's
cutting.
secondary, yeah. It shoots 3 little beams, tightly closed like beams for cutting.
Yeah.
And its secondary fire makes it horizontal.
Yeah.
Beam or a vertical beam.
Yeah, and so switching back and forth, and so you end up using this thing to sever the limbs of
Each battle is like a
necromorphs.
little puzzle. Yeah.
It kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this plasma cutter, like it's so overpowered and so effective that like you don't need to use any other weapon in that game.
I didn't realize it was OP. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of these other guns, there's one that shoots blades, there's like a pulse rifle, all of these others, and I'm like, well, I've come too far to try other guns. I want to get that achievement, damn it.
Yeah, it's the plasma cutter is just so effective, like, and I've already figured out how to like take out everything like quickly with this gun. Why would I use something else?
Yeah, so Bumblebee's like, I got my plasma cutter. Let's do this.
Uh, and
Yeah, and they look outside, and what is it? They give Bumblebee like an Autobot like lore dump, where they're like, this must be unspace, not dead space. And Bumblebee's like, the fuck is unspace? And they're like, it's a empty, dead universe where SkyLynx got himself banished to by the wizard known as Alpha Trion. And he's like, you're fucking with me, right? And they're like, no.
and SkyLynx is like, did someone call my name? And he pulls
they
Prime
look out-
into this. He pulls Prime into the like out into the dead universe, out of the ship into the dead universe. And Prime is like, oh, what happened to the Ark? Where's my crew? And SkyLynx is like, oh, they're fine.
There's one moment where they look out into like through the viewport on the bridge, and way off in the distance it almost looks like a T-posing SkyLynx, but it's his wings, I guess.
Yeah.
Very weird imagery, like Christ-like imagery, I guess. I don't know. He's just like T-posing, like looking straight at the camera, slowly like drifting towards the arc, and I'm like, weird shot, but cool. And yeah, he kidnaps.
He takes Prime out of the ship to have like a little heart to heart with him, and he's like, "Oh, I sense the Matrix within you. Like, I can feel the power. Yeah, because it was something that like I once sought and once coveted.
Yeah, you've got the touch, man.
You've got the power." And Prime's like,
Yeah.
I have the power, but haven't quite mastered the touch yet. And SkyLynx is like, ah, you're humble, so that makes you a better man than I was. So that means you definitely are worthy of having the Matrix.
At least more than me.
At least more than me.
Me, the biggest piece of shit who ever existed.
And Sky and Prime is like, okay, so you've been so what do you want? And SkyLynx is like, well, I want to get out of here. And Prime's like, well, Alpha Trion banished you here for good reason, but he does believe people deserve second chances. And SkyLynx is like, ah, yes. And after spending many cycles in this empty void and pondering, I have realized the errors of my ways and truly become the most knowledgeable and magnificent being in the universe. He actually sounds like quite full of himself in
and
the scene.
Prime is even like, Alpha Trion would be disappointed to hear of your arrogance.
And yeah, and like he does sound like he's full of himself. And SkyLynx is like, no, Prime.
No, I'm not arrogant.
It's just true.
It's just true. and I'm like, don't know if I trust this guy yet.
No, I didn't trust. I was
you
expecting him to double cross Prime, because he takes
and be
Prime
like, "Rah, the Matrix of power is mine."
and he like bites Optimus in half. Yeah, I was expecting that to happen. So what ends up happening though is SkyLynx proceeds to take Optimus Prime
Vision quest
on a really long
quest
vision
for
quest.
Gary. A really long vision quest for Gary.
A vision quest. We've had vision quests for Gary. We've had vision quests for Cheetor. We've had vision quests for Rat Trap. And now we've got a vision quest for Battle David himself.
Yeah.
Shout out to our listener and patron Lewis.
Yeah.
He'll understand that joke.
Basically third party Transformers.
Yeah, third part. There's a
Have
third
ridiculous
part.
names.
There's a yeah. A lot of them do have ridiculous names, but there is one particular third party Optimus Prime that came out a little while back and its name is literally Battle David. And we were having some fun with that on Twitter.
Fucking Battle David.
Fucking Battle David.
Almost as strong as Combat Jeremy.
fucking
Commander Combat Kitty.
fucking
Cobalt Command Kitty Commander. There we go.
yeah. And fucking Vision Quest. And here's what I'm gonna say about this episode. This is the Vision Quest episode. Because our man Battle David isn't the only one who gets a Vision Quest. Oh no.
Because when we go back to the Nemesis, and Starscream is like, "What the shit is that?" He sees the tear in space that leads to unspace.
Yeah.
Guess who actually came back aboard the Nemesis?
Our man Megatron. And Starscream immediately is like, Megatron, you're
He
alive.
even like puts his hands on him. He's like, "Oh, you're here. You're alive. Oh, thanks
so
the
good.
Spark."
It's so good to see you.
He
And
gets backhanded.
yeah, he gets backhanded, and Megatron is basically like, "You fucking idiot! Did you think that my crew were gonna follow you just because I was gone for like 10 minutes?
And
Fuck
he's
you,
like,
man."
Well, you see, Lord Megatron, masterful, great Megatron, and he gets his dick punched, and he's like, and he's like, "Off of my bridge, scum."
And so Barricade is at the
But Dad, go to your room. Okay, you stupid Megatron.
I'll be in to tuck you in later.
But you don't get dessert.
Barricade
But it's only 8:45.
Barricade is manning the controls, and is like Megatron, the Autobots, they're in that thing, and it's closing.
So
and Megatron is like, "I will not lose Prime again. Follow them in." And so they do. He flies into the dead universe, and
is it just Barricade and Megatron and Starscream on the ship?
yeah, we were talking. I was talking about that before. Like, it seems like you'd think there would be a much larger bridge crew on this big like battle, this giant like warship. But
Where's Soundwave?
yeah,
I-
but
Where is everyone?
I guess that it would just cost more money to have the more character models you have in rendered in a particular scene.
Maybe it'll just show up later.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? But I guess we'll find out. Anyway, so as soon as Megatron and company go into dead space, which is what I'm going to be calling it from now on. As soon as they go into dead space, he gets his own little vision quest, and he's greeted by his future self, his once and future self, Galvatron.
And his intro is
pretty
hype.
It's a straight up recreation of the creation of Galvatron from Transformers the movie.
It's corny and cheesy, but it feels very Super Sentai.
It's
Ching!
it's great. He even like strikes the same pose, which I've already at the time of recording I've already made the episode art for this episode.
It has to
it's
be
that
that.
shot. Yeah.
You're using it as your background in the video
Yeah.
portion of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shows up and he's like, "It's me, Sailor Galvatron." And Megatron's like, "Who the fuck is this guy? This asshole?" And he's like, "You fool, I'm you." And they fight a bit.
What I like is that they're both, because anyone who is a fan of Transformers knows that Megatron becomes Galvatron in Transformers the movie. I feel like that's just, you can't be a fan of Transformers, and I'm not saying that in like meaning that in a gatekeepy kind of way, but like I can't see anyone who is a fan of Transformers not being at least aware
of Galvatron.
Of Galvatron. Yeah. So Galvatron is the future self of Megatron, who's been reformatted by Unicron.
Reformatted and reprogrammed to obey.
Yeah.
Unicron.
In Transformers the movie, Megatron was voiced by Frank Welker. Galvatron though was voiced by the late Leonard Nimoy of Star Trek fame. He played Mr. Spock. But in this, the both characters are voiced by the same guy, and he actually his inflections are the same, so you can tell it's the same voice actor, but he
Yeah.
does like change his voice really
He
well,
does change his voice really well.
and he converses with himself like expertly.
The
It's
dialogue is actually well made.
yeah, yeah. So just
And he's
Wanted
like, homie, you don't know what's coming.
you're
I'm
gonna
here to stop your fate.
I'm here to change the future, because even though I have this sick purple paint job, it comes at a cost, and I don't want you to find out what that cost is. So I need you to kill Battle David and take the Matrix of leadership from him.
And Megatron's like, fuck you, I make my own fate. And he's like, hey, stop it. Hey, stop. No, listen, I
So-
want to
so that-
help you kill Prime.
So they fight for a little while until Galvatron takes Megatron on his own very own vision quest.
Literally the same thing, floating out in like purple space.
Yeah. And his vision quest is like showing him glimpses of the future, showing him glimpses of the past and his days in the arena and rising up. And Megatron's like, why, yes, I actually was quite a powerful and magnificent champion, wasn't I?
But I still don't trust you.
And Galvatron's, like,
Galvatron's like,
yes,
"Good.
you were
Yes. Never trust anyone. Now give in to the dark side. Feel the hate flow through you.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is a Jedi. This is a good Jedi mind quest, and this is a Sith Lord mind quest.
Yep,
Which is okay,
it's okay, yeah.
but it is extremely Jedi versus Sith going on here.
Yeah,
Like Jedi being like, clear your like conscience, clear your doubts, and focus on the now and the now and what you need to do. And Galvatron and Megatron's vision quest is the opposite. Remember who you were, harness your hate, never forget.
be nostalgic for days gone by, because those were the best days of your life. Harness
Everything
that.
is downhill from here on out. Harness that inner hatred.
Harness that inner hatred and unleash it onto the world, onto Prime, onto David.
Yes. And so what ends up happening here is, like I said, they both go and visit different things and regrets and become different people and let it go or embrace it. And it's Sith versus Jedi.
And so Prime is
Training montage.
yeah, training montage. SkyLynx is like, I will teach you the necessary skills you need to harness and bring order to the chaos within you, so you can shape this world to your very desires, just as I have. See, look at how good it is. You could do that too.
You could do that too. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Pure imagination. I got big the Chocolate River Tunnel vibes from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Look over there, Prime. Prime, do you see? It's a lovely street corner with a nice blanket of snow on it and a Christmas tree in the streets. Do you see? And
Do you
Prime is
see,
like,
Prime?
Prime is like, yes, I do see. It's quite beautiful and brings a tear to my eye.
This is the Christmas yet to come. It can be beautiful. This is very like Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come.
Now imagine that tree in your home with a nice little fireplace and family. Elita 1, Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, even Ratchet can come too. They're all gathered around the campfire.
They're singing Christmas carols, Prime. Imagine.
Presents littered the grounds, the floor surrounding the tree. It's beautiful. You can't wait to open them tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning's Christmas Day. And then Prime wakes up and he's like, oh gosh, what's going on? Was that all a dream? And he pushes open his window coverings and he's like, you there, young boy. And there's like a little like bumblebee-esque creature there.
Yeah.
And he's like, what day is it? Why, it's the year of our Lord and Savior, our Allspark and Savior.
2005, December 25th, my lord.
There's still time. Quick, take this Deceptibox and buy the biggest cyber turkey you can buy.
For the audio listeners, I quite literally, my eyes are tearing up from this.
Can you tell there's a lot of yada 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 in this that doesn't fucking matter?
Yeah.
But that's not saying I didn't like the episode. It's just it's a lot of like flashbacks to like Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime, and Megatron like being like best friends forever.
Being all like, whoa, Bundy.
And Alpha Trion being like, it's up to you three to save the planet. And they're like, easy.
We got this covered. We've got this covered, Dad.
We got it covered, Dad. No. In fact, you do not. In fact, the only good one of you is dead, I would argue.
Yeah. And so Prime is like, okay, so you've delivered me my first Christmas miracle in cycles. What do you want in return? And SkyLynx is like, why, I just want to leave this place. You can have it all. All you have to do is take me with you. I just need to hitch a ride. I will sleep in the back. You'll never know I was there.
You won't even know I was here. Okay, fine.
And so I was really sus that like as soon as
I'm pretty sus too, my dude.
as
Because he was like, in this place, I am pure power. Like like we said earlier, and we're like, even Prime is like, hold up. I don't know if Alpha Trion would like you not so humble bragging here.
Yeah.
No, you misunderstand me. It's not that I have ultimate power, it's that I have ascended my mortal coil and I am the best being in the universe.
Yeah.
Okay.
like
I've been stuck here for cycles, Prime. An entire Sunday afternoon. Because he does say cycles, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait. So you were banished like 50 years ago. And you said you've been here cycles. And he's like, it took me many cycles to learn how to explore pure imagination. But you could do it in like a nanocycle, maybe two. And I'm like, so you've been here a few hours? You've like transcended like Cybertronian, like and your old toxic ways?
Yeah.
Color me sus.
You just need to believe in, you just need to have the Christmas spirit, Prime, and all of this can be yours.
I really like your hopeful, like, your spirit voice for Sky. It's almost like a South Park voice. All you have to do is believe. Meanwhile, on the other end, Galvatron's like, yes. Angry fapping, watching Megatron. Harness your energy. And I spit out my fucking drink when Megatron actually looked at his hand and he's like, yes, and he summoned like a fucking like Naruto move or like a Dragon Ball Z power.
Just before that though, when they actually see the arc, Megatron is like,
right,
charge all weapons on the Nemesis, and Galvatron's like, weapons don't work here, you fucking idiot, that's what I was just telling you.
Remember the conversation about this like not being real?
Yeah,
he's like, all power to main weapons. And Galvatron's like, no, you homie, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, he's like, yes, good, harness your hate. and he literally harnesses like dark side, like Sith energy. And I'm
the
like,
fact,
wow.
and so the fact that it's actually red is a callback to the Hate Plague, which I mentioned was an episode that I had on VHS when I was a kid that actually
The
prominently
return of
featured
Gary.
the Return of Battle David, which is and an episode 2-part episode that prominently featured SkyLynx.
Yeah.
So he was like, channel your hate and use it as a weapon, and it was like this red like mist. I'm like that's cool. They knew what they were doing there.
Yeah. And Jedi and Sith, like, jokes aside, like, this is very much like, well, there's not a lot going on here, but we're gonna give you guys a lot of nostalgia to fap over.
Yeah. And so
And indeed, the Nemesis starts glowing and has this red and black like aura that looks really cool. And SkyLynx and Battle David like turn over and they're like, "Ruh-roh!" And SkyLynx is like, "I don't wish to hurry you, but we got to get the fuck out of here, dude."
And Prime's like, "Oh right,
You got the touch.
it's Christmas in the morning. It's Christmas in the morning. It's Christmas in the morning."
I do believe in fairies. I think
I can. Beetlejuice.
And then you got the touch plays in the background. Da, da, da. You got the power. And he Dragon Ball blasts an energy beam out and rips a hole in Dead Space.
Right.
Before the Necromorphs managed to swarm the bridge.
And so the Ark and SkyLynx start flying toward it, and Megatron's hate plague, he shoots his like big like hate beam at the Ark, and it looks like it's just about to hit and destroy it, but then SkyLynx like
slow motion
comically like leaps into frame into the path and just stops it dead in its tracks,
and it like redirects it like a shield kind of breaking apart over it.
And Prime is like, "No, SkyLynx," and Megatron is like, "No, SkyLynx."
No, SkyLynx, what the fuck? And he's like, "Go on, you have to get out of here. I'm sacrificing myself, even though I was sus." And I'm like, and Prime is like, he doesn't go, "No, I cannot leave without you." He's like, "Cool, thanks, buddy."
Well, he does hesitate for a bit, and it actually kind of reminds me of the in Robin Hood Men in Tights when they escape from the prison at the beginning, and like Isaac Hayes and Robin Hood are there, and Isaac Hayes is like, "Oh, this man has decided to betray his country and to save his life. Go and tell your superiors." And the guy is just like, "This is a great day. Go. It will mean a big promotion. Go. This is really good news. Go."
Thank you. So SkyLynx is like,
"Please go.
Please go."
That's what this reminds me of. Because SkyLynx keeps being like, "You have to go, Prime." And Prime's like, "No." And he's like, "Go," as he's like dying.
"I can't hold this forever. I'm going to die." "Well, I suppose we can. Dude, get the fuck out of here. Go." Please. That's what the situation is. It's like 20 seconds too long. Yeah. SkyLynx. And then just as SkyLynx is like, "No, I lived the way I died. A shuttle dinosaur." And he evaporates and dies. And in the background, you see the Ark going through the rip.
Yeah. And then back on the Nemesis, Megatron is like, "No, son of a bitch.
Fuck you, SkyLynx."
And then Galvatron is like, "No, son of a bitch," because Unicron shows up and like starts pulling him back. And he's like, "No, I've been found out. Wait, there's still one way. I can change the future." And he creates the golden disc. He like conjures the golden disc from Beast Wars and gives it to Megatron. He's like, "Use this. It's dangerous to go alone.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this." And Megatron's like, "Okay." And like downloads it. He doesn't grab it. It's
Megatron is like, "I've never been a fan of The Legend of Zelda."
Also, analog? Really?
I thought we
You-
were past even the days of MP3.
And he's like, give it a chance. The music is more crisp. And Megatron's like, get out of here, you hipster. And then it just shows Unicron, like OG Unicron, back in whatever universe timeline that they're in. And he's like, I will make you suffer for your treachery.
Yeah.
Buy my chicken nuggets. Sorry, that's a little fucking who is the voice of Unicron?
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. That's a little Orson Welles joke. If you haven't seen him lose his goddamn mind over his like chicken strips like commercial, like the bloopers from like him arguing with the director of doing like a commercial for like chicken nuggets or something, please go on YouTube.
I haven't
is a
seen that
joy.
actually. I will definitely
Holy
go and check
shit.
that out.
After this, I'm gonna live watch Siege's reaction to this. Yeah, so he's all like,
So
he's
the
all like, I'm the greatest director of all time, the greatest writer of all time. You will never betray me again. And Galvatron's like, no, I don't want to come back here. It's up to you to change my.
I was on
presence.
Star Trek. Damn it! I deserve better than
I
this.
deserve better than this. Live long and fuck you. And then he digitizes away.
Oh god. So the Autobots emerge from dead space and they're over top of a planet. And so I gotta point something out here. I thought that the in the space bridge from earlier, the planet that the space station was orbiting, that was partially through the
Yeah.
space bridge, I thought that was Earth, but apparently I was wrong. Because
No.
now after we emerge from dead space, here we have the Ark orbiting above Earth. And
Right above Central America, it kind of looks like.
yeah, which is apparently where the Allspark is. So, hooray!
Hooray!
And
But
pretty much
the
the
Nemesis
episode,
pulls up
isn't it?
behind them.
Oh,
Yeah, it got through too. How nice of that rip in the fabric of space-time to wait for the villains to follow them through.
so the Nemesis emerges and is like, just out for a rip, are you, bud?
Just going for a rip, are you, bud?
You know, I was listening to that song the other day. I think he's actually saying, just out for a rip, are you, bud?
Just out
Just
for a
out,
rip.
just out.
Just out
In a
for
very
a rip, are you?
out in a very Ontario kind of way. Ontarian
Yeah.
accent.
Um,
I could be wrong, but
shockingly, Siege had only recently known about that.
apparently that shit went viral in like 2013.
Yeah.
Had never heard of it until Cal brought it up a couple months back.
So when I had made, prior to that, whenever I had made going out for a rip or ripping hounds going for a rip, he had no idea what I was talking about.
I even have a friend who actually will say like, "Fuck yeah, fucking rights, bud."
Fucking rights, bud.
Like I have a friend who will say that, like just on the stuff like that on the regular in that exact way, and I'm like, he's referencing that video, like that song. He has to be,
Yeah, look for going for a rip.
or just listen to
music
last
video.
week's episode of the
Or-
podcast.
That, yeah.
It played at the end, yeah.
Yeah, but the ripping hounds going for a rip was a reference to that. You thought that was hilarious regardless, so
Yeah.
it worked. And
Okay, so just to quickly explain that, yeah, when Cal was helping me move, we were talking about there are dogs in the house that I'm staying in right now, and Cal just very casually made a comment about he's like ripping I was like, oh, I gotta like close this off because like I don't want dogs getting into it, and he's like, ripping hounds, going for a rip. And then like just silence for like a good like 5 seconds, and then I just like burst out into laughter.
yeah.
It's one of those moments that's like, oh, like it's one of those you have to be there, had to have been there
Yeah.
moments. But
I had no idea what I was even trying to say.
I don't even know why I found it so funny.
Ripping hounds going for a rip. I can't
Yeah.
remember why. Like, but what? Because they're just ripping around the house. Or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so both the Nemesis and the Ark are out for a rip in Earth's orbit, looking for the Ark for the Allspark, bud.
Out for a rip, are you, bud? And indeed, they are.
Yep. And well, that's the episode.
Yeah.
And that was episode 93 of Too Much Energon. Yep. Here on Too Much Energon, we rate episodes of Beast Wars, Beast Machines, Transformers War for Cybertron, Transformers Animated, board games, or whatever else we want to talk about at any given time on the Too Much Energon scale, which ranges from not enough Energon to a sufficient amount of Energon to too much Energon. It's basically bad, okay, good. Cal, what you giving War for Cybertron, Earthrise, Chapter 5?
I don't know if it was just breakfast or what it was, but after I watched this, or medication's working, or what, but after I watched this, I was like, fuck, that was a great episode. I was like, man, hell yeah, that was great. And I'm like, now that I'm reviewing it with you, I'm like, was it? Because I love Vision Quests and like that kind of hippie stuff, but it's like, what happened? Maybe I enjoyed the dumb shit in it so much, but right after I had watched it, I was like, too much Energon. Fuck yeah, like Galvatron's in it. There's like a golden disc, and I don't know who SkyLynx is, but he's like a dog jet shuttle.
I know, shuttle.
Dinosaur. I'm like, yeah, sure. But now in like review, I'm like, there's so much Deus Ex Machina bullshit. It's just like, oh, by the way, here's a golden disc. Harness your hate. Don't forget that you're a Sith Lord. Also, Optimus is a Jedi. It's like a training montage episode.
Yep.
And I loved it so much when I had first watched it, and now I'm like,
Yeah.
because I was like, there's backstory, and it's like, but the backstory isn't important. Like, we already knew that like Alpha Trion's 3 homies were Megatron, Ultra Magnus, and Battle David.
Yeah.
So like the flashback didn't give us anything new. We already knew Megatron was like a hero in the Battle Dome and Madison Square Garden. So now in review, I'm giving it a sufficient amount of Energon.
I'm gonna echo that. Sufficient amount of
Yeah.
Energon from me too. It episode was good, but it was a double Vision Quest. It's Vision Quest the episode. But I liked the appearance of Galvatron. I liked seeing SkyLynx.
Like all the effects.
Yeah, the visuals look really good. All the G1 callbacks were pretty neat. I enjoy the best thing to come out of watching this episode was our weird like a Christmas story take on.
The jokes of this episode were
better than the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a sufficient amount of Energon from me.
Yeah, gets a pure imagination from me.
And well, that's been episode 93 of Too Much Energon. If you want to support the show, the best way to do that is on Patreon. Patreon.com/lasercomb, LAZORCOMB. We're at the single $5 tier, affectionately known as the Gary. You get bonus preamble audio of me and Cal talking before we get into recording the shows proper. On this week's preamble, I talk about the most like fucking bizarre coincidence ever that has just popped up, emerged in my life. So, and we also talk about the movies of Denis Villeneuve and a whole bunch of other stuff. So if you want to get in on that, patreon.com/lasercomb. You also get other stuff too. You get some commentary tracks. You get our news and current events program, Lasercomb Tonight, and you also get to pick a show for us to review a random episode of on our other podcast, the Lasercomb Podcast. So patreon.com/lasercomb if you want to get in on all the fun.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow the show on Twitter at Too Much Energon, or you can follow me at Lasercomb. Once again, LAZORCOMB. I think that's the first time I've ever actually fumbled that.
Has to be only the first time.
No, I I haven't done it much. I've got the whole
That's
spiel
fair.
down
Yeah,
to
that's fair. Yeah.
I've got the whole spiel down to a
To science, damn it.
to a science, to an art. I think it's because I've been changing it up lately. Is why I fumbled. I've been kind of
Lazurcum.
lizard
Laser Coors Light.
laser Coors Light. I could use a Coors Light.
Is
after
it
this
Coors
episode.
Light or Coors Light? Can you tell I'm not a light beer drinker? Is it
On the
Coors?
commercials they always say Coors Light.
Coors Light.
Coors, yeah.
Every in person, hear people say Coors Light.
Oh, really?
One of those,
Weird.
or maybe it's one of those weird, what is it, Mandela effect
Oh yeah,
things?
yeah.
Oh, but yeah, by the way, you can follow me on Twitter, Neocal, NEO_KAL.
The countdown to Too Much Energon, episode 100, continues next week with episode 94 of Too Much
94.
Energon, where we're going to be talking about the final installment of War for Cybertron Earthrise. And until then, I've been The Siege, one of your hosts.
And I'm Neocal, your other host.
And until next time, you just have to believe in the power of Christmas, Prime.
The power of Christmas yet to come.
The power
There's
of
still time.
the power of Christmas that once was, the power of Christmas that will be, the power of Christmas that is now. Go, run, open your presents, hug your family, eat some turkey, and just believe in the magic of it all.
The power of Christmas compels you. The power of Christmas compels you. Be gone, hate plague.
Bye-bye.
Final frontier. Going in space on a secret mission. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.